We begin right now with breaking news. Police have surrounded a grocery store in Boulder, Colorado after reports of an active shooter. About 30 minutes ago, we saw a man with a bloody leg being led through the parking lot by police. It appears he is in handcuffs. A law enforcement source told ABC News that police were called to investigate a shooting in the parking lot, and when they arrived, a gunman opened fire on them. This is still a very active scene. We have seen police leading people out of the store, and some of those windows in the store, they are broken.
Going into effect last night in Miami Beach, but not before confrontations between police and hundreds of young people on spring break. Police firing pepper balls into the crowds on South Beach after multiple attempts for them to leave. City leaders say these restrictions are necessary now to stop crime and violence that some spring breakers have brought to the entertainment district, along with fear.
At night, there is no question that it becomes a place that feels a little bit out of control or a lot out of control.
Quite frankly, I'm concerned that the behavior is getting a little bit more for us to be able to handle.
The mayor of Miami Beach also declaring a state of emergency. According to police, at least a dozen people were arrested.
You guys are looking at this mysterious moving geyser in California. You don't see these every day, and they say that this is the only moving geyser in the world. So it's a bit unique, and I think we should probably pay attention to it now. Every time we find something that's connected to these big fault lines and earthquakes out there, the scientists are quick to downplay all the stuff. Then they'll come back later when everyone's seemingly not paying attention, and they'll drop some updated info like, oh yeah, there's going to be a disaster here at any time. It's overdue. But we've talked about the Cascadia all the way down through the San Andreas Fault. And that is exactly where this sits, at the southern tip. And what's interesting about this one spot here is that it's on the move. And it's a bubbling pool of mud. It is releasing massive amounts of CO2. And it's been around since 1953. But it didn't start moving until 2016, following seismic activity in the area. That's a huge giveaway right there to me, regardless of what they want to try to downplay it with. Now it's moving. Now it's moving at a rate of about 10 feet per month on average. Dude, that's moving. Feet every month. 10 feet every month. So they're trying to figure out where it's going to go next, and now it's running into a roadway where they've built a new road to go around it, and they're saying once this thing moves and gets all the way across the main road, they'll go back and they'll patch it up and fix it, and then hopefully everything will get back to normal. But it's
Shalom, all praises, glory, honor, and fear to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakha, Kodash. That belongs to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, citation to the election, the real house of David, the men, the warriors that stand upon their feet, the exceeding great army. And we are in a time of war. We're in a time of great confusion, of people losing their minds, and people not knowing what's real or what's fake, what's good or what's evil, because everything's upside down. And that's why we know the city of confusion is broken down. And we're going to get that in Isaiah 24. But you see all these things happening. You got sinkholes opening up. You know, you have earthquakes in diverse places. You have pestilence. There's famines. There's wars, rumors of wars between Biden and Putin. You know, Asian hate, China against America, Iran, saying that they're gonna like they were just threatening. U.S. top generals, like the brother did a video on it.
New report says Iran threatened to attack a U.S. Army base and kill a top general. The Associated Press reports the U.S. intercepted messages showing Iran's Revolutionary Guard discussed attacking Fort McNair in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, so you got that happening, and on top of that, just recently I did a video on how Iran, they showed on a video what they call an underground missile city. So a lot of things is happening, and like that whole shooting that just happened today in Colorado in the grocery store, whether it's real or it's a false flag, like they call a false flag, something that's just kind of acted out. It's not really real, but it's all forwarding. It's all fast forwarding this thing to bring it to the end, to bring the wicked to destruction. Whether it's real, whether it's fake, it doesn't matter anymore. What matters is the will of the Lord is being done, and the Lord said He has a sword. He's gonna bring a sword upon this place. Matter of fact, let's go to Isaiah 24. In verse 10, the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. Right? There's no welcome. No one's welcome. There's no more chivalry. No more manners. It's just hate, animosity, pressure, and no, not everyone's a diamond. Not everything that glitters is gold. Even in this truth, not every brother's a brother. Not every elder's an elder. Not everyone is who they claim to be. And you have to have a strong discernment to be able to get through these strong delusions, because there's a strong delusion these last days, and there's a heavy plague out here. It's not just COVID. It's a plague of the mind, really, of what you fear, what you're afraid of. And a lot of guys, they fear man, they fear death, they fear of what the multitude look at them like. That's why there's respect to persons, man. That's why guys, they trim the way to seek love. The love of this world is not true love. The wisdom of this world is not true wisdom. It's a wickedness. And that word confusion is formlessness, unreality. See, this place is false. This place is fake. Emptiness. All right, place of chaos. You see? And if you don't have the Lord, you're going to be a part of this vanity, a part of this emptiness, a part of this wasteness and nothing. And a lot of guys, you know all prophecy, this, that, and third, but you have no love. You have no sincerity. You have no agape, no charity, and that means you're nothing, man. It's all in vain. And that's why it's saying Psalms 127, if the Lord don't build the house, they labor in vain. A lot of guys are laboring in vain. Not bringing out Matthew 23. Not bringing out a righteous division. Showing you the difference between the clean and the unclean. That's the job of a true priest and servant of the Lord. Dividing and severing the righteous from the wicked. And that's why our mouth and the way we come is we don't teach like the scribes and Pharisees. Jeremiah 15 in verse 19, it says, therefore thus saith Yahweh, and the Lord is speaking. He's speaking through his men, which are hidden in him and in this word. And not everyone's able to come to the acknowledgement of this hidden manna. And a lot of you guys, you act like you're hiding in the Lord, but you're not. You see, those that are hidden in the Lord, we don't have to be next to each other. We don't have to be around each other. We know that the hiding place of the Lord is in the spirit. But a lot of guys, they think that they're going to be able to hide themselves behind other men, behind a camp title, behind YouTube, social media. You know, there's nowhere you can hide in this world. And that's what a lot of guys are. They're in this world. They're trying to hide in this world. When you go to Genesis 3, when Adam and Eve ate of the tree the Lord said not to do, lest ye die, they were beguiled of the serpent. What did they do? They try to hide themselves amongst the trees, but they stood out like a sore thumb, because they were supposed to be of the tree of life, not of the knowledge of good and evil. Jeremiah, and that's what we go. That's what we're getting back to. Jeremiah 15 and 19. Therefore, thus saith the Lord: if thou return, then will I bring thee again, and thou shalt stand before me. And if thou take forth the precious from the vile. And what is going to say about the vile men? The vile men are exalted on every side, everywhere. In every world, in every nation, the vilest men, the most wicked men are always exalted. And thou shalt be as my mouth, let them return unto thee, but return not thou unto them. Right? So yeah, you can return unto us, because the Lord said what? And you who are troubled, rest with us, right? Because we're laboring to enter into the Lord's rest, not man's rest. Man's rest is rest in peace, death. But the Lord's rest is life everlasting. And I will make thee unto this people a fence, brazen wall, and they shall fight against thee. That's why we're getting so much heat, so much kickback. so much hate and animosity, so much pressure. But they shall not prevail against thee, for I am with thee to save thee, to deliver thee, saith the Lord. And I'll deliver thee out of the hand of the wicked, and I'll redeem thee out of the hand of the terrible, right? And that's what's about to happen. And it's happening as we speak. But we see that this place is about to get ran through by, it's already being ran through by evil angels, evil spirits. But it's about to get so bad, man, where, you know, we're not going to have to be doing videos and stuff like this. So our labor of love is almost finished. It's almost complete. You got the Passover coming up, and seeing how things is going, the Lord ain't slowing down. That's why we can't be slowing down. We have to be a part of that consuming fire, a part of that fire that the Lord is coming with. Our power is consuming fire. And the Lord said to let fire burn on your altar continually, to keep you warm, to keep the demons and the enemies away, the lukewarm away. A lot of you guys are lukewarm. Now that it's fair weather, a lot of you guys are fair weather Israelites. Once the weather gets good and the sun comes out, then you want to come out in town with the byways, the cheap place concourse. But when the ice was there, when it was snowy, when there wasn't nobody walking back and forth, when there wasn't no broads with tight ass yogas showing all their assets and all their privy parts, being wicked and nasty as hell, you wasn't out there, man. Because you guys are sluggards. Before I go to Leviticus, let me get this precept in Proverbs. A lot of y'all are sluggards, man. And don't matter if you're in a camp. It doesn't matter if you're in great millstone. Just because you're in a camp, that doesn't make you great. What makes a man great is the Lord, Yahweh. And a lot of guys, they might have the name of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yashai, but their heart is far from him. Their spirit, their mind. Proverbs 20 and verse 4. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Right, and if any man takes his hand off the plow, he's not fit for the kingdom of God. A lot of guys are not fit. It's not talking about carnally, because yeah, physical exercise profits little. It does profit. It profits little. But godliness with contentment is great gain. Being content with what you have. Being grateful, being thankful to the Lord that He's delivering you and keeping you from evil, keeping you from death. And that's why we're still breathing, to praise the Lord, to exalt His name, to rebuke the wicked, to comfort the feeble, the weak, right? And make the differentiation between the righteous and the wicked. Proverbs 20 and not justify the wicked for a reward. It's like justify the wicked for a reward and condemn the just for a gift and for money and shit and clout and for men praising you and bigging you up. Proverbs 20 and 4. Therefore shall he beg and harvest and have nothing. You see, a lot of guys, they're nothing. Let's get that word for beg and let's get that word for nothing, because that's what's about to happen. We go into the parable of Matthew 25. Says that the 5 that were foolish, they basically begged the 5 that were wise for their oil. Oh, give us of your oil. Give us some of it. And they didn't give them a nice answer, man. And so when you guys try to come at us, man, you ain't gonna get a nice answer. You're gonna get the Lord's answer, man. And what is He gonna say? Depart from me, I never knew you. Yea, that work iniquity. A lot of guys, Lord don't know you. That's why we don't know you. The wicked is estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. That's not just Esau. That's all you guys, man. Twofold. Two times dead, man. Like it says in Jude. Let's get that word for beg. The word sha'al means to borrow. It says to practice beggary. And it's heavy because the scripture say he has, David, he said, I have been old, I've been young, but I've never seen the righteous begging bread. You know, because the bread, this word of life is going to be given to them. You know, and the thing about the wicked is that they borrow, right? You might let them borrow something, but they ain't going to pay you back. They ain't going to give you that love or repay you that good turn you gave them. Psalms 37 and 21. Verse 20, it says, but the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume, into smoke shall they consume away. The wicked borroweth, and payeth not again, but the righteous showeth mercy and giveth. For such as be blessed of him shall inherit the earth, and they that be cursed of him shall be cut off. And I was just like, just looking at what there is to do out there. Bro, there's nothing to do in this world, man. This world's done. It's on its last toenail. There's nothing to do out here, man. I mean, go for a walk. Go for a walk. I mean, there's nothing to do out here, man. This place is dead, and it's heavy too, because you had that whole situation in Miami. You had a lot of these young cats in Miami for spring break, and they was fighting each other. There was adultery. There was confiscating guns. It was just the mayor had to bring out freaking task force and kick them off the street, and this, that, and the third. I'm gonna have to put that up too. But see, as it was in days of Noah, they were eating and drinking, marrying, partying in the house of mirth. You see? Like goddamn animals, man. And that's what's about to happen, man. A lot of people gotta be put down like a freaking animal slaughterhouse. Matter of fact, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. And it's heavy too, because this is true money and riches and life. And like, when the spirit comes upon you, or an idea, your light starts to flicker, right? You're not supposed to ignore that. You're supposed to not quench the spirit. You're supposed to, feed the spirit and starve the flesh. But a lot of guys, they ignore it, and then eventually wisdom leaves their asses, man. Like, man, I ain't gonna deal with you. You ain't praising me. You ain't giving me attention. You ain't giving me my love and affection. Wisdom of Solomon 14 in verse. Wisdom of Solomon 14 in verse 24. They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled. And us as a nation, Israel, which consists of you so-called, right, proverbs and bywords of Negroes, Native Americans, Latinos, and amongst our people are also those that might look like a heathen, but they're really Israelites. That's why the Lord said, don't judge by the outward appearance. It's not about the cover of the book, right? It's about what's in the book. So let's read that again. They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another traitorously or grieved him by adultery. And this is why the Lord says he's only going to bring one of a city, two of a family, and bring him into Zion, bring him into his rest, his kingdom, his first dominion. Only a few. And that's why the Lord said only a righteous shall be saved. Only the scarcely, man. And that's why we're doing everything in our power and our will to make our call and election sure. Showing our loyalty and what's that word? Fealty. Your obedience to the Lord. Even unto death. What I've been meditating, I'm probably gonna get a video ready for it, but I've been meditating on Abraham and Isaac, man. When the Lord said go and sacrifice Isaac, he didn't scoff, he didn't question him. He said, you know what, the Lord gave, he takes away. And he proceeded to that mount to go and obey the word of the Lord. That took faith, man. That took bravery and courage and strength, and not just of carnal, but more so of their mind. So it's all about the mind. And that's why what we have, brothers, which is a spirit of sound mind, of love and of power, it's far beyond any riches and money and clout or whatever of this world that perisheth, that is passing away. Wisdom of Solomon 14:25. So that there reign in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind. A lot of guys, they're Decepticons. You know, they might look like they riding and dying for Yahushua, but all of a sudden they change up and they like a Pharisee and a scribe. Crucify Yahushua, killing other sincere men's character. Oh, don't listen to them guys. See, this is all prophecy being fulfilled, for so did they to the true prophets. You know, they called Yahushua master of the Beelzebub, man, of Lord of demons. So what do you think they're gonna say of those of his house, the household of faith, the house of David? Disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanness. For the worshiping of idols, not to be named, is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil, right? And a lot of guys, they make themselves an idol. It's not just a standing image. You know, and a lot of guys, they're dead, so they're freaking tombs, and they're like an idol, man. You know, they're just standing images. They ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere in the spirit. They're not going anywhere in the scriptures. They're not really bringing out weightier matters of law. They doing sit-downs on Japhet and Ruth and Boaz, and you know, it's gonna talk about don't get all into endless genealogies where it comes strife. First Timothy 1:4. Neither give heed to fables, which a fable is a myth, something that's widely accepted, right? The broad gate that leads to destruction, but really it's false. It's not the right way. That's why it's saying in Proverbs, there's a way that seemeth good unto a man, but the ends thereof are the ways of death. Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies. Which minister questions rather than godly edifying, which is in faith, so do, right? So it's all about godly edifying, which is in faith, and things that you can't see, not in the carnal things. I mean, look at those sons of Levi. It's like those sons of Aaron that offer up the strange fire. So it's not about who your father is all the time. Look at Eli's sons, how they corrupted themselves, man, how they did abominable works, and the Lord brought a severe judgment to him and his whole household. So it's not always about, you know, what your father is, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's saying in Ezekiel that the son shall not, let me just get it. Everyone's gonna reap what they've sown, man. This is Ezekiel 18:20. It says, the soul that sinneth, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. Right? So we're in the time right now in Revelation of let the wicked be wicked still, let them be filthy, let them be corrupt, let them keep on being partial and lukewarm and wicked, and being deceitful, doing the work of the Lord. And you righteous, sincere warriors and holy men out there, you keep on being strong, you keep on fighting the good fight of faith, you keep carrying your cross daily, man, bearing your iniquity, because we have sinned against the Lord. Micah 7, until you judge our cause. Leviticus 11:33, because the reason why I bring up this scripture is because it ties into how we're in that generation of vipers and snakes. We're in that generation right now, man. Guys, there's creeps. There's creeping out here. Leviticus 11:33, and every earthen vessel whereunto any of them falleth, whatsoever is it in it shall be unclean, and ye shall break it. You see, so we're breaking every unclean vessel that does not have this treasure in them. Because what we are, we're those earthen vessels that have the treasure. We are those earthen vessels that have the treasure in it, which the treasure of the Lord is the fear of him. Leviticus 11 and verse 29. These also shall be unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth, the weasel and the mouse and the tortoise after his kind, and the ferret and the chameleon and the lizard and the snail and the mole. And a lot of guys, they literally they comparison to these animals. They slither, they're slimy, they're They're quiet. They're deceptive. They're unclean. The main thing is that they're unclean, man. You see, the elect, they symbolize sheep, lions. You know, animals that symbolize power and authority and submissiveness, and you know what I'm saying, a lamb and a sheep, lion, you know. These are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever doth touch them, when they be dead, shall be unclean until the even. And upon whatsoever any of them, when they are dead, doth fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be any vessel of wood, or raiment, or skin, or sack, whatsoever vessel it be, wherein any work is done. You see, and everyone doing the work, everyone claiming doing the work of the Lord, it must be put in the water, and it shall be unclean until the even, so it shall be cleansed. And this is why, let me get that word for break. Let me just read that verse, because this is why number 16 said to not touch anything of theirs, man, because those famous, they was being snakes. They was unclean. What they were saying was unclean. What they were saying was unrighteous. They was coming up against the most meekest man on the earth, and they already had a high position. They just wanted more. They were like their father devil. They wasn't satisfied with their portion. Whew, hold up. So a lot of guys in this truth, they have a spirit of King Ahab and his wicked ass wife Jezebel, coveting what other men have. And what's the main thing they covet? The spirit, because they don't have the spirit. You know, but see, they already got their constellation. They got their money, they got the praises of men, they got women all on the comport. Oh, great video, elder, high priest, this. But woe unto you when men and women shall speak all manner of good unto you, for so do they the false prophets. Now see, we got the bells ringing now, man. Sirach 14:9. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. That's why, guys, they ain't got the flowing rivers of living water. They ain't even got a dripping tap. This shit's dried up, man. And this all goes into parable when Yahushua saw that fig tree with no fruit. He cursed it right there on the spot, and it withered away, man. A wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. You see that? No, not good manners. And see, this is a big feast. This is a big table. This truth. You know, and we can see everyone's spirit for what it is, man. If it's clean or if it's unclean, if it's right or if it's wrong. There's no in-between with the Lord. Now, if you're in between, then there's going to be in-betweens for you. Oh, maybe, I don't know, I guess. See, we're in the time where there's no longer no guessing, man. It's we know. We see. We get it. We got it. Jeremiah 11. Jeremiah chapter 11 and verse 9. And the Lord said unto me, a conspiracy is found among the men of Judah and among the inhabitants of Jerusalem. They are turned back to their iniquities of their forefathers, which refused to hear my words. And they went after other gods to serve them, right? So they refused to hear the true words of the Lord, which is through his true men. The Lord says he's going to raise up prophets and pastors and shepherds according to the Lord's heart, not the heart of men. And that's why a lot of guys and a lot of people, they don't really cleave to the true man of the Lord, but what? The Lord is, the Spirit is, the angels are around them. Jeremiah 11:18, the point. And the Lord hath given me knowledge of it, and I know it. You see? Then thou showest me their doing. So Lord, he showed us what they've been doing, man. Their actions. Psalms 29 and verse 4 says, the voice of Yahweh is powerful. The voice of Yahweh is full of majesty. The voice of Yahweh breaketh the cedars. Yeah, the Lord breaketh the cedars of Lebanon. So the true voice of the Lord is going to break things, man. It's not going to make things feel nice. It's either going to make you strong and hard, or it's going to make you weak and shattered, man, into pieces. That word breaketh is to be crushed, to be wrecked, all right, shattered. It says rend violently, break to pieces. see? And that's what this word is supposed to do. That's the true intent that the word is supposed to have on when you hear it, man. Jeremiah 23 and 29 is not my word like as a fire. See, and what we're doing, we're fanning the fire. When you fan the fire, you get more oxygen to it and you make it bigger, you see? Whew, make the fire big. The Lord said, let me get this one first in Jeremiah. Yeah, Bible ball, man. Jeremiah 51 and 2. It says, verse 1, it says, thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me. So in the midst of Babylon, there's all kind of unclean spirits that are rising up against the Lord and his men. A destroying wind. So the Lord, he's raising up this destroying wind. The spirit is like the wind. So it's just, and I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. And that's exactly what's coming all together. Let's get that word for shall fan is zara. Right, to compass, compass, to winnow, to fan. Says, it says to examine thoroughly, right? And the scripture say how examine first and then rebuke. You see, but that's a good point. It says to cast away, to fan. And when you go to Proverbs, let me get this precept as well. Proverbs 20 and verse 8, it says, a king that sitteth in the throne of judgment scattereth away all evil with his eyes, right? In the eyes of the Lord, right? Those who have the vision, the eyes, the eyesight, are the angels, the celestial and terrestrial, the men of the Lord. If I was to get that word for eyes real quick, it's ayan. Right, it's of mental and spiritual faculties, right? Spring, fountain. Jeremiah 23 and 29, it says, is not my word like as a fire, saith the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets, saith the Lord, that steal my words, everyone from his neighbor. You see? And behold, I am against the prophets, saith the Lord, that use their tongues and say, he saith. And when you go to, let me get this precept. Make the pile great. The Lord's he's making the pile great. And everyone's being marked right now. When they come across this truth, they get marked for either death or salvation. For the most part, this is death. Unto death, to death, unto sword, to sword, unto famine, famine, unto the beast to tear, to the beast to tear. Jeremiah 15. Ezekiel 24 and 9. Therefore thus saith Yahweh Bashan Yahushai, woe to the bloody city. This place is bloody, man. Cannot be cleansed unless their blood is shed. Numbers 35 and 33. I will even make the power for the fire great. You see? So you gotta understand that it's not just Esau, it's also the 2/3 parts of our people. They're guilty of the blood of Yahushua and the prophets, man. And all the blood from righteous Abel to Zacharias that was slain between the altar and the temple is being required of this generation. And that's why there's so much animosity and heavy judgments and strange things happening, man. Ecclesiastes 10 and 8. He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it. And whoso breaketh an hedge, a serpent shall bite him. And a lot of guys, they try to break the hedge that the Lord has on his men. You know, they try to break up men that also believe with each other. And that word hedge is a fence, a wall. And what did we read earlier in Jeremiah 15? The Lord's going to make us as a brazen wall, and everyone that fights against us shall be destroyed. So they don't want the elect to interlink. They don't want them stones to get brought together, because they know that then that's it for them. Then the chief cornerstone is going to come. Daniel 2 and verse 34. Thou sawest so that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were iron and clay, and brake them to pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, the gold, broken to pieces together, and became like the shaft of summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. So the Spirit of the Lord in this new kingdom is going to fill the whole earth, and it's going to be heavy, man. And in the times of holy days, when the true men of the Lord would come together and they'd have their alone time, they'd be together in one place, the Lord, he would put that power, that spirit, he'd increase it. You know, in this Passover, there's something heavy about it, man. Acts 2 and verse 3. And there appeared, let me start verse 1. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. Right? There was no schisms amongst them. And suddenly there came a sound. And this is what the wicked, these wolves and all these Pharisees and all these hypocrites, they don't want the ones that are on one accord. They don't want them in one place. Not even Esau. That's why they say, oh, don't gather in large. Really, it's not. See, they don't care about these goddamn goblins and goons in Miami South Beach. They don't really care about. You know, they'll come around 9 o'clock. Say, all right, get out of here, and they'll wrestle them out the way and arrest some of them. They're worried about the elect coming together, man, spiritually and physically. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind, and filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire, and it sat upon each of them. You see, and then they started to speak with different languages, man, different dialects. Not that Christian shit where they just fucking demons and they just freaking uttering nonsense. You know, you know. Let's get that word for cloven. What does that word cloven mean?
Strong's G 1266. Diamerids.
Alright, cloven tongues. It means it means to cut in pieces. So the Lord gave him tongues, right, to cut in pieces, right, the wicked, the enemy, in confusion. Alright, to be divided into opposing parts. Whew. To be at variance and dissension, to distribute. See that? Cloven. That's what that word cloven means. Right, it means split. Cloven means split. Acts 2 and verse 36 says, therefore let all the house of Israel know assuredly that God hath made that same Yahushai, whom ye have crucified. See, he was talking right to them, man, who he said, whom you have crucified, both Lord and anointed. Now when they heard this, they were pricked in their heart, and said unto Peter and to the rest of the apostles, men and brethren, what shall we do? Then Peter said unto them, repent and be baptized every one of you in the name of Yahushua Mashiach for the remission of sins, and ye shall receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. Right, and a part of that baptism is bringing out the testimony of the Lord, man. Matthew 23. And a lot of guys, you don't want to step on other guys' toes, you don't want to offend nobody, then guess what? You're not of the Lord. The Lord said he was a rock of offense, and us as rocks built upon that rock, we're also going to have some kind of offense about us. And we're on the offensive right now, man. We're on that fast break. It says, for the promises unto you and to your children, to all that are far off, even as many as the Lord our God shall call. And though the many is going to be called, only few is going to be chosen. And with many other words did he testify and exhort, saying, save yourselves from this untoward generation. You see? Especially now. You know, I'm gonna leave y'all with one last precept, and this last link, I want to play this too, because it shows you the hypocrisy of the wicked man. I want to play it. Let me see. I'm gonna let this play too, but let me just finish this precept here. This is 1 Samuel 12:14. If ye will fear Yahweh and serve him and obey his voice and not rebel against the commandment of Yahweh, then shall both ye and also the king that reigneth over you continue following the Lord your God. You see? But if ye will not obey the voice of Yahweh, but rebel against the commandment of Yahweh, then shall the hand of the Lord be against you as it was against your fathers. Now therefore stand and see this great thing which Yahweh will do before your eyes. You see, so Lord, he's doing a great thing before our eyes, the ones I can see. But for the ones I can't see, it's not so great. It's not a big deal to them. You see? Yeah, man, all praise, glory, honor, and fear to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakwadash. All praise, glory, honor, and fear. And demise and destruction all the wicked and the anti-Yahushai and Shalom to the elect.
What's the benefit of getting vaccinated?
Hoping that the virus won't kill you.
Are you sure the vaccine won't injure me or perhaps even kill me?
No.
Right. Okay, if statistically the virus won't kill me and it has a 99.7 survival rate, why should I get vaccinated?
To protect others.
So if I get vaccinated, I can protect 100% of people I come in contact with, right?
No.
Alright, this is confusing me. Let me ask another question. If I experience severe adverse reactions, long-term effects, still which are unknown, or die from the vaccine, will I or my family be compensated by the vaccine manufacturers or the government?
Compensation? Absolutely not.
Why am I not surprised?